Morning on a cold, frosty morning.
How do? Fingers and gloves.
I think we're on about day 5 of the big freeze at the moment, but we'll cover that in another video in a couple of weeks' time. I think
it's
so.
Like that every day, isn't it?
Anyway, this week's video is going up through Northgate Locks without the help of the lockies. First time we tackle them on our own.
She's a clever girl, really. She does listen.
So we've got footage.
Colour the swans. They're coming to say hello.
Swans have come to say hello.
There's one, and then the other 3 or 4 are floating by the ice. Yes.
So we've got footage going up through the locks, both on the towpath, and you took some on the boat as well, didn't you?
I tried to get clever.
Try and get both perspectives.
Without going down the side of the boat.
So we hope you enjoy it. We hope if you're planning on doing the locks, it is helpful to you. They were a bit daunting, weren't they, when we first looked at them before we did them. And then we had the lockies first time we did them, and this was the first time doing them solo. But I think we're up to 7 times of doing them in the last few weeks because we have to go up and down them for the water point.
Could it be for frosty glasses?
So we will see you at the end.
Enjoy. Push the button, ring the bell. It's free to you and me, even in the ice and cold and snow.
Morning from our overnight mooring in Telford Basin. We were pleasantly surprised at how nice and quiet it was here, and I'm just going to head up towards Northgate Locks and set them ready for Paul to bring the boat up. Wish us luck. This is the top lock, which I'm just filling, and then I have to drain that into the middle lock. There is a boat just coming down, which is currently in the bottom lock. Once they've gone out of the bottom lock, Paul can come in, and then I empty the middle lock into the bottom lock until the water equalises, and then he can move into the middle lock, and once I've refilled the top lock again, I can move the water between the top lock and middle lock until it equalises, until he can get into the top lock. So we do end up filling the top lock twice to get the boat up through the locks, and just half opening one paddle at a time so that the boat doesn't bounce about in the lock too much.
So good morning to you if you can see me. I hope you can hear me. Chester, just on the entrance into. We're at the basin just above the estuary link. You may just see that off to that side, behind the boathouse, the locks. I'm hovering about because we've got 3 locks to go up to get up alongside Chester Walls, and we've got. I've just been notified by Tash that there's a boat that's coming down through the bottom lock, but the turn just underneath the bridge that we're going to go under is a little bit. Well, it's the gap. The turning isn't that great, and I haven't been up here to actually say that there is a lot of turning point. We came down a couple of weeks ago, probably 5-6 weeks ago, and I haven't turned around and been down it for since then, or up it. So just enjoy the ride, and we'll see how we get on. It's becoming a little bit brighter. All the buildings that are on that side are student accommodation, as are most of the houses on the port side, as I stand, not as you stand. We go past Telford's warehouse, which you might not see, but I will point it out. That will be on that side, just as we go underneath the bridge. But like I say, enjoy what you see. There used to be 5 locks on this flight, which is now 3. They've amalgamated 2, but they are very, very deep. The middle one, I wouldn't say there's any real chance of getting a centre line unless you've got an elongated centre line. So tends to get a little bit floaty about a bit as you go. But we'll see how we get on. Say, I don't know whether you can see, Just behind them couple of boats there is the de-estuary level, which is Inland Waterways Silver Propeller Challenge. But we can't do an awful lot about that because just at the bridge it's padlocked because they're replacing the estuary gates at present, or they will be over the course of the winter, and you can't get down to the actual lift bridge. Here comes the boat round the corner.
Here we are, just coming into the bottom lock. Now the boat's in there, it does kind of give you a bit of an idea of how deep these locks are. There's a 33-foot rise from the basin up to the canal at the top.
So, as you can see, the height of the water is at the level of where it's coming through the gate. So Tasha's just closing the locks, the lock gates. So now we're ready to see what she comes up with. Ready when you are. Ready when you are. Oh right, okay. I can see the water. George is going to go up in the world. So we're waiting for the water levels to be right in the lock. And we've been told by the CRT bloke as we came down that we need to ensure that we only open the paddles halfway so that we don't get too rowed about. Because there's an awful lot of water behind them gates. So we're having to wait a little while, because as you saw, the boat came out, so we've got to refill them. Ready? The one thing we don't do while we turn around and go through the locks is go walking down the side of the boat, down the gunnels, unless there's a problem, and that's when Tash will turn around and close the locks. We're doing this slowly as advice of the CRT member of staff. Sorry, I'm watching people on the walls on the right hand side, but I can't reach the actual. Say again? Yeah. It's like whatever's suitable for you. People on the walls, I can't quite get to the camera, so I can't take a picture, a beautiful picture. I'll try and do it from the side next time, either when we come up or we go down. Of the walls here on the lower pound, there's an actual turret which will give us really good view. And with the leaves coming off the trees, it's slowly getting better. But yeah, it's a long, slow process, this one. Giving thumbs up to Tash. You might have just caught her looking down through the gate. When we came down originally, it was very scary, just at the thought of the amount of water behind us coming through that gate. Slowly getting to the levels where we need. Tash is watching the green markers, and between the green marker and the yellow marker, so the water levels are right. And as soon as she is, she'll open the gate.
The top lock is now empty into the middle lock. So I've shut the paddles at the bottom end of the top lock and opened the paddles at the top end, so that is now refilling, ready to go into the middle lock. And then I've partially opened the bottom paddles on the middle lock to slowly start filling the bottom lock. But the turbulence seems okay. You ready for me to open it a bit more? Open it a bit more? Yeah? So as I'm operating the paddle, I can see Paul and the boat to the top of the gate just to make sure everything's okay before I open the paddle even more. Just check again. All looks okay. It's just about taking it slowly and safely so the boat doesn't bounce about and lock too much. There we are, it is fully open now. We just wait for the levels to equalise and then he can move forward into the middle lock. There are markers on the middle lock wall, so once it's in the green we know it should be equalised, and I can close these paddles and open the gate. You can just see the marker starting to come into view just there now. Just see the yellow next to the steps. So once that's down to green, we should be ready to go. Nearly into the green. So we're into the green now, so I'm just going to lean on the gate until it starts to open. And there we are, it got into the green. Just opening the gate. And then close the paddle on the bottom of the middle lock. Make sure the top lock is full, and then empty that into the middle lock. You can see the water is just at the bottom of the green. Once it equalised, we could bring the boat in. There is another boat coming down now, so they're going to come down as we're going up, and they'll cross over, going from the middle to the top lock. There we go, we've got a boat in the top lock coming down, emptying the top lock very slowly into the middle lock. We've got our boat roped to the side. Paul's holding the rope so it stays in place because it's not long enough to tie it completely because it's such a deep lock, just to keep us to one side as he goes up, and so he's one side and the boat can go down the other side as it comes down. Water levels are almost equalised, and then we can move into the top lock. Just waiting for the boat to come out of the top lock, swap places, and then we can continue. Here we are, safely in the top lock. Just got the paddle half open, not bouncing about too much. Once the water is up above the sill, then I'll open it fully. And then once Paul's level with me, I can grab the recycling off the boat, because there are bins just over there with recycling bins, so we can get rid of all our recycling on the way through, which is good.
Water coming out of one side of the pound makes the front of the boat wave. So it's, and you've got to think about the actual paintwork. Sometimes we do have some feathers on the front, but some of the angles that the boat ends up on, it doesn't necessarily always work. You can buy a full-length rope that comes from the front of the boat to protect you against walls and the quayside, but it's being careful. But enjoy the view as we come over the top of the lock.
Here we are now, top lock's full, so I can close the paddle, open the gate, and Paul can bring the boat out. We've come to Betsy Coed to get some lunch.
One of our favourite places.
We thought this would be a lovely spot to do the outro from on this beautiful wintry day.
But you just missed the Hercules got fly over behind us.
You got all excited. You like your aeroplanes,
I love
don't
the
you?
aeroplanes.
So, hope you enjoyed that video.
It's something different.
Chalk Talk. It's about when you're doing new locks.
Always listen to the CRT man, because they do know what we talk about. Was that what
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, like we said in the video, CRT had given us some tips, although they weren't there, for coming back up the locks. Take your time. It takes us about 40 minutes to do that staircase in Chester.
And it gets very cold when it's weather like this.
It's been cold at the moment, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, just take your time doing it and be safe and be careful.
Yeah. But that way, as in to our left, yeah, which you won't be able to see, but behind them trees, or just below them trees, is Swallow Falls. And it's a beautiful waterfall walk.
It is.
If you're ever down here, turn around and make the most of it.
Yeah.
Just for something different. Have a great day.
So next week's video will be a bit more of narrowboat life in Chester, and we're going to try and do a live at some stage next week as well. Just depends on where we are and what the signal's like.
Live.
And have a festive week.
Oh dear, that means more fun and games and silliness.
So have a good week.
Christmas crackers.
We could do, couldn't we?
Yeah. Wear a Christmas hat.
Yeah. Have a good week. Keep warm.
See you later. Push the button, ring the bell, it's free to you and me. Ding dong.
See you soon.
Later.
Bye.